Hi, I'm Brainerd Carey, Director of Praxis Center, and today I'm talking about provenance and what that means for artists in terms of value of their work. Um, Last week I spoke about providence because that word was confused in the comments, but it opened up an interesting area to discuss. However, today we're talking about provenance and what that means. It's about the history of a work, and it's about authenticity and also the value of a work. So sometimes you'll hear collectors saying, I'm concerned about the provenance of this work, or there's questions about the provenance of this work. And sometimes that comes up with ideas of forgery. Is this work forged? So if we're talking about a historical work of art, the provenance is important, which means who has owned this, when was it created, and what are the documents that trace that entire history. So there would have to be some documents historically that show when the artist created it. There would also have to be a document that showed who bought it or whose collection it was in. And then there would also have to be a kind of document that shows how it changed hands, if it did, and what collection it was in. These are all very important things in terms of understanding provenance. Again, it's the history of how a work is collected. So what does this mean for you as an artist? How do you create provenance for your work? And what is that about? Well, it essentially means for you, it's about documentation, right? It's about documenting when you created your work. And there are different ways of doing this. One of the easiest ways is to use a Google spreadsheet, for example, some kind of free spreadsheet program, and write in the name of the art, on each line, the date it was created, and a little description of the art. That's all. That's the beginning of you documenting when it happened. That's the beginning of provenance. Now, if it was sold to somebody else or if something changed, that should also be marked on your spreadsheet. So again, a Google spreadsheet, which is good as any archive, is a way to develop provenance. So if it's sold to somebody, you write in the next column who it was sold to. It could be the name of a collection, the Gerber collection, the Carey collection, something like that. And if it ever gets sold again, you'd want to also say when it got sold and when that was. If it was exhibited in a gallery, having that also listed as part of the provenance in your Google spreadsheet, let's say all these columns, would be very important. Sometimes, especially in historical works of art, you'll see in galleries on the back of the work of art, there are stickers from other galleries. And this is a tradition that used to be more popular than it is now. But what it means is every time it was shown in a gallery, they put a sticker on the back that said such and such gallery and often annotated a year on it. And so those stickers would build up over time, and that's not the best way of creating provenance, but you begin to see it, and it's a place to start to research if you were a collector, right? So for an artist, again, the way you develop provenance is to have it, in a document like a Google spreadsheet. When did you create it? When did, and if it was sold, create a letter of authenticity. We have those in Praxis Center, but you can also make up your own. But a letter of authenticity saying, I'm the artist, this is when I made it, this is, what I was working on. Just date, document, time, what was it, and where it's stored or not, is a way to begin your own provenance. Again, in a spreadsheet, just list your works of art. You don't have to go back with all your works of art, but start now. And ones that are exhibited, say where they were exhibited. If they were sold, say who they were sold to. That is provenance. You're creating the history of your work, which gives it value for collectors in the future. I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, or comments on other topics you'd like to see addressed, just put them below. Thank you.